Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I have done some more work on the bare metal foil on the 66 Olds 442. Part one of the this video series, the ending of that video, I was starting on the bare metal foil around the doors. I have completed the bare metal foil. A few little touch-ups I need to do, but as far as the bare metal foil, I've got it all done. It was quite a bit on this. These Olds were more of a luxury sports car, if you want to call it that, or a luxury muscle car. They were loaded with chrome and accessories, and so I had quite a bit of chrome work to do around the taillights there, as you can see, around the trunk, around all this trim, some of the this little deal right here, whatever it is, some sort of vent. I've got to do some touch-up painting on that. But all the windows, got the engine compartment blacked out, door handles on it, or painted. Actually, I didn't bare metal foil them. I painted them, but also I've got the headliner installed. How do you like that? And with that, the next step is to install the windows. So that's what I'm about to do. Real fast, by way of introduction, if you haven't already, guys, subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it if you go over and do so. That would help me out greatly if you would subscribe and like this video and share it with a friend and whatever else you can do. I don't know what else they'll allow you to do. But guys, I'm so thankful for the subscribers that I have and you guys commenting on all the videos, and yeah, it's just so much fun. Thank you so much for that. But anyway, I'm going to reposition the camera and we're going to install some windows. So give me just a second and I'll get right back. Alright, here we go. So I'll be using Mod Podge. I think this will work out on this kit. The last car I did, I had to use my my tester's clear part cement because it was much thinner. I test fit these windows. The front one goes in pretty solid, so I'll be able to use the thicker Mod Podge. Always test fit or dry fit your windows. You never want to install your windows with glue before ever dry fitting them, because what if you have a fit problem? Then you take it out and the possibility of getting fingerprints and things like that are very high. So clean your window first, because you may not have the opportunity after you mate the chassis up with a body to be able to clean the inside. So this one has nice little holes, like fitting holes or alignment holes. So we'll line those up. And I've already test fit this so it fit in nice and snug. So get it in, and then you want to, because your dashboard is going to come right up against this, you want to make sure that this thing is fitting properly. You don't want it to be down too far, and then when you fit your chassis and tub up against it, it's going to hit. So make sure everything is exactly where it needs to be and fitting correctly. Don't really like how these windows look, to be perfectly honest with you, but what you gonna do? Yeah, they don't fit that great as far as around the edge here. They seem to be, well, maybe you can't see it so much on camera. I can see it a lot better with my eyes. So all right, so now I'm going to take some of this Mod Podge, very thick Mod Podge. See, this stuff is like ultra thick Elmer's glue, and I'm going to use this toothpick here. I'm going to put it around where I want it's going to dry clear. Maybe I need to use I've got some of these pointed Q-tips. That might be better. So yeah, this stuff dries clear. So even if you got it on your window in a wrong place, chances are you won't see that. It's going to dry perfectly clear. I don't know what I should use. Some of you guys use these little, you know what, I've got a few of those. I've got some of these little teeny tiny brushes. I'm new to the Mod Podge. I don't use it very often, or haven't had it very long to use it very often. Okay, I'm gonna try one of these little guys here. Some teeny little brush like you would use for your super glue or something. We'll try that. Yeah, maybe that's what I needed. So I'm gluing the head. I don't know why sometimes they put these sun visors in the kits, because you can't see them. I'll cut them off sometime, but they'll put sun visors and they're clear, so you'd have to paint it anyway. But anyway, just get him glued in there. You don't want the window to come out once you put it on the shelf. So what's your favorite window glue? Is it Mod Podge or is it regular glue, which I have ruined who knows how many windows with the regular model cement. They didn't have, to best of my knowledge, when I was a kid, they didn't have clear part cement. They had, you know, you could probably, people were probably using Elmer's glue or something like that, but I didn't know any better as a kid, and I would just use the model cement glue in the tube, you know, little red tube. Well, as a kid, you're impatient. As an adult, I'm impatient, but as a kid, I would usually get a big, huge fingerprint on it. All right, on the back glass, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of this on. I'm hesitant of putting the glue on first, because sometimes you get your window in there and it's not exactly where it needs to be. And there you go, you've got glue all over it when it slid. But I'm going to take my chances on this one. Go ahead and get plenty of glue on there, and it is transparent when it dries. Now you wouldn't want to put a heaping glob on there. You probably would be able to see it even if it was transparent, but let's just get it on there where the window is going to stick. All right. Now sometimes your windows also have contour to them. Like this is just one little flat piece. I say flat. When I look at it, it appears to have some bit of contour. So it would go like this. This would be the, okay. All right, now I'm going to try to do this without getting glue on it. So I'm going to reach through, be able to grab my window with my fingers like that, and try to get it in there. First try, just like that. Okay. Nicely done, Matthew. Nice job. Alright, so in this Mod Podge, I need to clean this window. Don't forget to clean your windows. If you do install them and you get fingerprints all over them, clean them up before you button the kit up. This Mod Podge is more tacky, so the windows will go ahead and stick. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in my egg incubator, so it would accelerate the drying time on this Mod Podge, and I'm going to work on the exhaust of the chassis. So stand by and we'll get changed out. Alright, so now let's do some exhaust work. So I've already got the engine installed. Actually looks pretty decent. But anyway, got the interior in. Got to do the exhaust. So turn them over, and the way I've done this is this one's a little different because this is a two-piece chassis. This has your chassis, and then it goes onto your bottom portion of the chassis, which also is your interior. But to be able to paint your axle assembly and all these things together without the exhaust, because the exhaust goes under the axle, I always put everything in place and glue everything together except for the points that glue it to the chassis. That way then I can pull the pull the axle out, it's got everything already attached. So then I can, you know, finish detailing that, and it's going to be painted, and then I can install the exhaust, and that's what I'm about to do. So I've got my exhaust painted with that epoxy paint, or that appliance paint that I like to use. So let me pull my chair up here and see if I can get this together without using the instructions. Let's see if I can figure it out. Easy enough. That goes there. I love a nicely detailed exhaust system. I think that makes a model, or a rusted out one. You know, if you're making a beater and you've got it rusted, as long as, you know, some people just spray it black, but I do like to see a nicely detailed exhaust system. Pre-fit this stuff. If you don't pre-fit things, boy, you can really run into some issues. Open up the trusty Bob Smith glue after I clean the top off. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the 3 points where I'm going to be gluing this exhaust down. I'm bad about squeezing the glue, trying to get it to come out the end, and then all of a sudden a big glob comes out. So I make sure I don't do it over the kit or over the model. There's one. And then we'll put this in. I was asking on the last video, part 1 of this, some of you guys call this accelerator something else, and I couldn't remember what it was, but it was kicker. That's what it was. It came to me. It was kicker. You know, I call this stuff kicker, and I just call it accelerator or something like that. So hold it there for a second, let the stuff cure, and there you go. Some of you guys also will dip it in those little brushes that I used for the Mod Podge and use it to apply it that way. I'm sure that works great too. Pre-fit this one more time. This is a really nice kit. I've enjoyed building this one. The front windshield, you know, however, they could have, I think, maybe a little bit better on that, but everything else goes. It's a great kit if you can pick this one up. 66 Olds 442. Also, real quick, side note, totally off rabbit or squirrel. This box that goes with it, someone said that they believe that the checkerboard pattern was exclusively for Walmart. Is that true? Was this a Walmart kit only as far as the way the box is? I don't see anywhere on here it just says Walmart. What about that though, guys? Some of you guys are real experts at this stuff. Probably actually know what you're talking about. Where the heck did that hole go? There it is. This bottle is almost empty. I can't even see if anything comes out. All right. Give it just a second, and there it is. All right, that's cool. And for the pieces here, see if I can figure out how they go without looking at the instructions. How many of you guys actually follow the instructions when you build a kit? I find myself looking at them when there's something I don't, very rarely. That's not to say I'm really good at this. It's like a guy in a map, you know? I know how to get there. No, I'm not lost, honey. Yeah, exactly. I know where I'm at. Yeah, that's the same thing with these model kits. Probably is struggle. I guess I'll look at the instructions. Where are the instructions? You know, kind of like that. All right, this fit good. But yeah, I don't typically use the instructions like step 1, step 2, step 3. I have my own step system, just much like you guys. We have our own system that works, and that's what we do. And I'll put a little glue onto the, do this one a little different. There. And there. You guys ever been lost on a trip? Oh yeah, me too. Why don't you stop at this gas station and ask someone? No. Let me drive another 100 miles into the middle of nowhere. Funny story, while I'm doing this real quick. Took a trip out to Washington State once. We lived in Tennessee at the time. And, well, it was kind of just a sightseeing trip, 2-week trip. Me and my 4 kids and wife, and we had gone as far as Washington State. My wife has an aunt in Spokane, and so we went to Spokane, did some sightseeing in Idaho, and decided when we came back we were just going to go through Montana, North Dakota, Minnesota, and all those beautiful states, and come back down through Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, back into Tennessee. So we left Idaho, northeastern Idaho. Well, there's not much of a east to north Idaho. It's so small up there. But we left Idaho that morning and drove through Montana. Let me tell you what, Montana is humongous. It took all day to drive through Montana. I don't like to plan or anything like that, so I decided that we would just find a motel, you know, somewhere in North Dakota. We were taking the interstate. I forget what the road was. But anyway, it got late, it got dark, and we were trying to find a hotel in the western or the eastern part of Montana, or it may have been the western part of North Dakota. And to try and wrap this story up, because I'm done with the exhaust, we couldn't find one because all the oil frackers or whatever those people, whatever kind of drilling they do out there, had all the hotels rented. There was nowhere to stay. And let me tell you what, up there in North Dakota, it truly is the middle of nowhere. Well, we found this little hotel just as you come into North Dakota, and it was called the Buckboard Inn. Guys, I would die if any of you guys have stayed at the Buckboard Inn. It's the interstate that, like, almost the most northern interstate that goes east to west in Montana, or North Dakota, Montana. Dang, this stuff doesn't want to come out. And so we went up there, and I won't get too politically incorrect, but there was some funny things that we experienced at the Buckboard. It was very, very primitive, as far as they actually had keys for the doors rather than cards. I'm going to go ahead and install this rear axle. They had keys. The person behind the desk, when I walked in that night, it was about midnight. I was just thrilled that we found somewhere. She looked, I think it was a she. Not 100% on that, but anyway, it looked at me and didn't even ask, didn't say, hey, how you doing, ask, you know. It was like the most awkward feeling, this little weird desk that they were sitting at. And I said, do you have a room? And it said yes, I think, because we did get a room. But yeah, it was very, very weird. But I don't remember the town. I don't remember any of that, what the details of any of those things. I just remember it was called the Buckboard Inn. And it was the most awkward time that we ever spent as a family. And do you see how I just did that all in one assembly? Actually, this shock didn't go in. There we go. But yeah, it was a memorable. Those are the memories that the kids remember. The Buckboard Inn, and we didn't hear gunshots or anything, but it was rather interesting. It was in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, story over. It was funny. It was scary. It was all those things wrapped up in a trip. But I almost got this chassis together. But yeah, if any of you guys were like, hey, I stayed at the Buckboard Inn before, I would die, because it was so weird. All right, that is together. I'll let that accelerator or kicker dry. That kicker or accelerator will break down the paint if you rub it, so always just let that stuff dry before you start to mess with it. But that looks really nice. That's going to look really good. So the next step now is to get some other parts together. I'm going to now, though, I've got these nice looking wheels black washed. I'm going to take my tires and we're going to sand them up and give them a little bit of a used look, so stand by. Alright, so here's my little tool I built to scuff my tires. It is two of the at Hobby Lobby. They sell these like unfinished wood parts. These are door or knobs for like a cabinet. I drilled them all the way through. They did have, I think, one hole in the end. It didn't go all the way through or something like that. But anyway, I drilled them all the way through, so they're tapered. This grid back here, guys, really robs the focus of my camera, I've noticed. So they're tapered, so they work perfect for when you put them up against, if I can block the darn grid, when you put them up against your tire. So I have two of them, and it's on a little screw or a bolt, Phillips head. So put one tire to the other, and you kind of twist it and it centers it right up. These are some really cool tires too, by the way. They're really bias ply looking tires. I'll get the focus in just a second. So just tighten it up, and those cool looking bias plies. Put it in the drill. Just don't tighten it too tight in the drill, or else you're going to ruin your threads and you may not ever get that nut off. Then you take your file. Hold on, let me lay these instructions down here. Maybe it'll quit trying to focus so much. Alright, so here we go. Yeah, that didn't help at all with the focus. This is a new camera that I'm working with, and darn if it doesn't just absolutely not want to focus. Maybe if I go down farther. And it's a really good camera. It's just, I've got to figure out what I'm doing wrong. So just I go both ways. And then I like to take and run it through my hand to get that dust off of it. And it will give it a worn look. You can't tell much on camera. I apologize for that. I wish you could see these things in real life. Sometimes I wish you couldn't see them. I'm glad you can't see them in real life, because you can hide a lot of stuff with the camera. So, just a comparison here. You can't tell a whole lot about it, to be honest with you. I can tell loads. But anyway, this is going to be like a factory fresh type car that's driven on the street. You know, it's just got a few miles on the street. But your tires definitely would not be shiny if you had a new vehicle. I mean a vehicle that's been driven on the street. The tires wouldn't be shiny like that. So that's what I do. I use my little tool. works pretty good. I see other people use like a socket or something like that, but unfortunately these are the hard rubber tires. These are like solid, and they are very, very stiff. So to stick that, you'd have to find the perfect size socket. So I just, this works great for me, just how I do it here. I usually use sandpaper, but I'm using this instead. Just like that. So I've got 2 nicely worn tires and 2 really shiny toy looking tires. What do you like? Alright, next segment. Alright, so one other quick thing that I'm going to show. I got, by the way, I got the wheels or the tires, or the wheels mounted in the tires. They're looking good, and the backs are ready to go on. Did have to adjust the tires, those hard rubber tires. I actually had to take and cut the inside of the tire so the rim could actually sit down in it. It looked like the bead wasn't seated if you didn't do that. So what I want to go and show you real quick is about black washing your panel lines. You know, this is called panel line accent color, and this is what it's really made for, to wick inside these places. I've already done this one. See if you can tell there. You can tell that there is a black line down it. Well, you know, cars, the gap isn't painted. You know, it's dark in there. So to add that realism, try to use your panel line accent color. I really knocked the brush off really good, because you only want just a touch, and then have a Q-tip ready to go, because it will jump out sometimes. You have to wipe that up. So you just take this brush is so tiny, so I mean they made it right, and try to just follow the, oh gosh, how you like that? What a great tutorial of how not to do it. So just wipe it off. If it gives you any trouble, I got a bottle of alcohol here. You can just take and put just a touch on your, not too much. You don't want to remove your paint with it, but you can clean it up just like that. Anyway, really dry your brush off as much as possible, and going down, just let it wick right into the gap, even across your fender. All your panel lines, they should, you know, they should sort of be shadowed. So try to do that, and it will make the model come to life. Another thing is these grills here, these air intake grills. This stuff is so thin it just wicks right in. You can just touch it right over the top of them, and it will wick right in. And then you look like, you know, you've made shadow. Don't overdo it, because you can make a mess with it. But try to stay consistent with the color all the way across, and again you've achieved the effect of shadowing, or not necessarily shadowing, but you've given it some depth. It looks like there's something below it because it's dark now, just like it would be on a real car. But if it was just blue, gloss blue, everything's gloss blue, you tend to lose that effect of realism. And I think as modelers, it's what we intend. Not that we always achieve, but we intend on realism being our main goal, outside of having fun, just having something to do. Alright, so that's that. So their panel lines, you get those blacked out. This area is now blacked out. And just all the little panel lines there. Anything that you think would have a shadow, touch a little bit of that in there and it will wick right in. If you don't like it, just be quick on the Q-tip and get it back out. But alright, we're about to wind this thing up. The exhaust looks good. Interior's ready to go in. Chrome's done. Windows are in. I'm going to finish black washing. Got to glue in the bumpers, attach the headlights, radiator, a few little odds and ends, and this thing will be ready to go. So I don't know how much more I'm going to show on the video, but probably after you see this, you're probably going to see the completed kit. So, see this? Stand by. Well, there it is. I think this thing turned out really, really nice, in my biased opinion. I even like the color. I think it turned out really nice too. 66 Olds 442 by AMT. Man, such a nice kit. What was the date on that thing? Like 2004 or something like that. So it's not a terribly old kit. But wow, this is really cool. A few little things that I would disagreed how they did it, but still fit good. I don't know if they came in this blue. Probably not. It is a little bright for, you know, that era, but I think it looks great. I think it was a really cool car to build, and I can't wait to set it up on the shelf beside its cousins, the other Oldsmobiles. The more and more I build these Olds, the more and more I like them. It's like Oldsmobile was always like a grandma car to me, but this is no grandma car. I mean, grandma could have driven it, but yeah, wow. So happy with it. Thanks for watching this video and following along as I build this thing. But yeah, this just turned out so nice. Obviously at the end of this video, I'll have a slideshow and take some still pictures of it. It's just such a nice car. That was just Testors blue, just out of the little Testors bottles like this, just blue, and I cut it with the lacquer thinner. And the engine is there, which looks really good, and I like an Olds. Got the plug wires on it. I don't really wire my engine bays, but I do put plug wires. So most of the time they're on the shelf, like these guys up here, and the hoods are all on them. So really, even putting spark plug wires on them sometimes is a waste, but I like to do that. But yeah, man, it turned out great. I didn't even have to sand. I didn't even have to fit this hood. A lot of times your hoods won't fit right. You'll have to do some sanding and stuff. The hood even fit great. But yeah, guys, this thing was so nice. The undercarriage, give you a quick look, turned out really nice with the exhaust, and it's just a nice kit. Lots of bare metal foil. If you're going to do this one and foil it, you better buy a whole sheet because it takes quite a bit. All the windows there. Front window, back window, side windows. Then you've got over the bottom portion of the trunk there. You got down the whole side of the car. You've got those emblem things there on the front hood. Over the headlights. Yeah, lots of chrome. But it's worth it all when you get it done. And again, guys, thanks a lot for watching this. This was so much fun. So much fun when they turn out like you expected. Sometimes, guys, I know we run into a brick wall as we're building, and it's just want to quit. Sometimes it's just like we box them back up, put them on the shelf, and forget about it. But when they turn out nice, it is all worth it. So again, guys, thanks for watching this video. If you would give this thing a thumbs up, like this video, comment, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Don't forget to go over to our Facebook group, Model Car Videos Facebook group. You'll see this car on there. I might take some pictures also and put on there. Also, don't forget to go over to Hobby Nut Models, link in the description for the Facebook and Hobby Nut. But go over to Hobby Nut and check out Mark's inventory and see if there's something on there you might want to take home today. So, with all that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to stay around for the slideshow. You guys take care. See you on the next build. Bye.